Today we will be going over linear pairs. Okay, so before we even start, linear pairs. What word do we see in linear? Yeah, we see line. So it's something about a line and pairs. Pairs are generally two. So two of something and a line. Okay, so let's see what the definition says. Linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles that form when two lines intersect. Adjacent angles. Now, if you remember from our previous lesson, adjacent angles have a side and a vertex in common. Also, adjacent means they're right next to each other. Okay? So, adjacent angles are formed when two lines intersect. Look at this picture. We have two lines intersecting. And with these two lines intersecting, it creates linear pairs. And what does that mean? Okay? It means that if I take this angle and this angle, these are linear pairs. They're adjacent because they're right next to each other. And there's one more special thing. Okay? The two angles are supplementary. Supplementary if the sum of the measure is 180. So, if you take two angles and you add them up, it'll equal 180. So let's imagine this. We have two angles here. If this is 100, and you see that this is a straight line, right? Imagine if we have these two angles and we smash them together, we get a straight line. And I'll highlight the line right here, okay? This is the line I'm talking about. The yellow and green, if I put them together, they already are, but you see that it creates a line, okay? And the line is 180. So if this is 100, what does this have to be? Remember, it says the two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180. So I have this imaginary one, an unknown, x, and 100. I know we have to add them, so 100 plus x equals 180. If we do the train track method, we have to subtract the 100 on both sides. And what do we get? X equals 80. Okay? So whenever you have two linear pairs, or supplementary angles, two angles that make a line, both of the angles have to equal, if added, 180. So we know this x would be 80. This is a linear pair, these two, and they're called supplementary as well. Okay, now let's see. What if I had this yellow line, and I know this is adjacent to the green line, but is it also adjacent to something else? Is this yellow angle next to another angle? The answer is yes. If you look right here on the blue, it's also next to this angle. And if you see, I'm going to highlight, maybe not highlight, but I'm going to draw in the black this dark line. If I have the blue and the yellow, if I attach them, you see this? It makes a line. Okay? So again, if this is 100, what does this have to be? Let's put a y here. If I figure that out, it's 100 plus y equals 180. And look, it's the same equation. So I know y equals 80. Interesting. 80, 80. They're opposite and they're equal. If I were to do the math for this one, z, 80 plus z equals 180. What would that equal? That one's 100. So I have 100, 100, 80, 80. Do you see some sort of pattern with this angle and this angle? And this angle and this angle? Something we're going to learn a little later, but this is called vertical angles or opposite angles. And what's happening is opposite angles are the same. So if you flip it to the other side, it's going to be the same, as you saw right here. Okay. Now, this is the same exact figure, and we'll do a little more, okay? Because what happens here is if you are given a question like this, a problem, and they say, what is EBC linear to? Or what is it next to? Okay? You would have to say, oh, it's probably next to ABE. And would you look at that? It makes a line. Okay? So these are linear pairs. ABE, EBC. Those two make a straight line, just like right here. A linear pair, they're next to each other, that make a straight line. That's important. We call this supplementary. So green and yellow are supplementary. Okay? And the idea is, if you know one of these angles, you can actually find all of the angles. So let's make it a little bit difficult. Let's put 40 here. If this is 40, what does this have to be? Again, we know our supplementary total has to equal 180. We know one part is 40, and the other part we just don't know. We do train track method, get rid of the number, the attachment, bring it to the other side by using the opposite operation. And we will figure x equals 140. Now remember that trick I told you. Opposite angles are the same. Now can get a little tricky. I know sometimes people will see 140 here, so I would put 140 here because it's on the other side. But remember, it has to be exact same angle. Does this big angle, is that the same as this one? No. So these numbers cannot be the same. Instead, it's over here. So this one would be 140, and this would be 40, because it's opposite of this one. See, it's a small angle, small angle. Okay? Now we're going to have to learn about pairs. Which one are next to each other, and which one, if they're adjacent, equals 180. That's basically what we have to do for this lesson. If two angles form a linear pair, they are supplementary. If you see this, these are all the pairs. And let's see if that works. ABD and CBD. Are those linear pairs? Yeah, because they're right next to each other. They share the same ray and vertex. And if I put them together, it's a straight line. Remember, if I have two angles like this, are they supplementary? Imagine that they're super straight. If I put it together, look right here, it makes a straight line. And this would tell you that they are supplementary. Okay? That's the same thing going over here. If I have this angle and this angle, it can make a straight line. I'm going to review a little bit of the homework. I'm going to answer one of each type of problem just so you can get an idea. Okay. This one. Hij and Jik form a blank. So let me just highlight it just to see what they mean. Hij and Jik. What does this make? Two angles are right next to each other, and they form a line. Oh, I think I just gave the answer. Hij and Jik form a line, right? And there's two of them, so we would write linear pair. We know our answer is linear pair. And look at this one. It says DEG and blank form a linear pair. So I have DEG and another thing that forms a linear pair. Remember, does it make a line? I'm going to highlight this just to show you the four different angles. This green angle, DEG, does it make a line with GEF, DEH, or HEF? Remember, it has to make a line. It's your choice. There's actually two answers for this. Name each linear pair in the diagram to the right. So I have, again, 4 colors for 4 different angles. You have to tell me what are the pairs. Let's start with the blue one. So I know RUV. RUV. And what? So this green, this blue RUV, it makes a line with what other pair? I'm looking for a straight line, looking for a straight line. I know it also pairs with the green one, because if I put those together, I get a nice straight line like that. So that means the blue pairs with the green. VUS. VUS. Okay? So the blue pairs with the green. What's the other pair that also includes RUV? So blue can also make another line. But where? If you said the purple one, because it can make this line, you are correct. So we have RUV and RUT. Find each missing angle measure. Remember, when we're dealing with this, if it makes a line, what does the total have to be? It's a straight line, 180. So in here, we have 180 equals 37 plus x. Why am I using a plus? Because it says right here, they have to equal, the sum equals 180. So if I did the math here, minus 37, minus 37, I would get 143. Think about this one. What angle does this have to be? So the entire line equals 180. Try these out and let me know if you have any issues.